An 80-year-old Scottish pensioner who abused 6 kids and forced them to eat dog food has been jailed. The incidents occurred when Frances Forsyth had young children stay at her home between the 21st of September 1973 and the 31st of December 1980. Forsyth was in her 30s at the time, and she was married to Brian McKernan, who was 15 years her junior. They moved into a one-bedroom flat in Fountainbridge, Edinburgh. She neglected the youngsters, where they were left dirty, unwashed, and smelling badly. They were poorly clothed, starved, and forced to scavenge from a dog bowl when she left the room after feeding her 4 dogs fresh food. They would often eat mouldy food off the ground and resort to stealing dog biscuits from a cupboard since they were so hungry. She encouraged her husband to beat the children, while she also carried out sadistic assaults on them after they failed to carry out household chores. Forsyth admitted to punching and kicking a number of the children to the head and body, and on one occasion, she held a child's hand against an electric fire. Arriving at court by ambulance on the 8th of March 2021, Forsyth pleaded guilty to 4 charges of willfully ill-treating, abandoning, and neglecting and assaulting 6 children, and was jailed for 16 months. Her husband died from cancer in late 2019, just weeks after being listed as a registered sex offender. A Missouri woman has been sentenced to 5 years in jail after entering a plea deal for starving a 10-week-old son to death. Michaela Hill, 27 of Bridgeton, was sentenced on Tuesday the 9th of March 2021 after she pleaded guilty to a reduced charge of child endangerment in the 2018 death of her son Samuel Williamson Jr. Hill was given credit for more than 2 years of jail time already served. In exchange for her plea, prosecutors agreed to drop a second-degree murder charge and reduce the charge of child abuse resulting in death. On the 2nd of September 2018, Bridgeton police were called to the Lodge Hotel in Penridge Drive, where Hill was living with the infant and a toddler. They arrived at 3:05 p.m. and found the infant was unresponsive and unsuccessfully tried to revive him. An autopsy indicated that the baby weighed 6 pounds, or 2.7 kilograms, and died of severe malnutrition. The prosecutors stated that Hill failed to feed the baby for about 12 hours before she found him unresponsive. The baby had previously received treatment several times at a St. Louis area hospital prior to his death, with symptoms of being severely underweight, vomiting blood, and having trouble breathing. Michaela Hill's husband had assaulted her a week prior to her child's death, and she'd been placed at the Lodge Hotel by a women's shelter. Her other child was put into the care of Children's Division of Missouri Department of Social Services. A 32-year-old Russian man has been arrested for murdering a woman and her 3 grandchildren. The incident began on the 7th of March when 45-year-old Tatiana Grutova was babysitting her grandchildren at her daughter's apartment in the town of Lukino Dulovo, not far from Moscow. When the kids' parents went out for a walk, there was 8-year-old Veronica and the twins Dmitry and Mikhail, who were 2 years of age. Upon return, the couple found themselves locked outside the apartment complex, so 28-year-old Irene Klebanina tried contacting her mother. When she didn't answer her phone, she became concerned and she contacted the police. When the authorities arrived, they broke down the door and made a horrifying discovery. The grandmother and the 3 children were all stabbed to death. Blood was everywhere. The dead grandmother was found clutching the bodies of her 2-year-old twins, desperately trying to shield the youngsters from the brutal knife attack. Veronica was also discovered dead, found cowering behind the sofa. 2 knives were used in the slaughter, and all 4 victims suffered at least 10 stab wounds each. The grandmother's 32-year-old nephew, Sergei Morozov, was found at the scene, shouting incoherently at the officers. The authorities arrested him, and they're currently in the process of investigating the matter. The couple have another child named Olga, who wasn't present when all this happened. The motive of the attack remains undisclosed.